In this week's episode of Pretty and Pride, I share about my recent experience with AI during my weekly date night. Kiki and I discuss our excitement surrounding the upcoming arrival of the newest pack member to join our pride, Pucci. Kiki shares her multi-step alliterative framework to achieving personal success, and we talk about the frustrating conundrum of wishing we could coast through life, but being built different via an annoying motivation to do more to succeed. We hope you enjoy.
Okay. I don't fear no man, but I'ma still put 60 in this Drake. Set it off like Queen Latifah, nigga playing with my cake. Split the bag up with my brother, 50-50 what we made. I can't let no nigga eat that ain't contribute to this plate. Run it up, I just need that.
Welcome back, Pretty and Pride listeners. I'm your host, Kiki.
And I'm your host, Ken.
We are coming to you on this beautiful Saturday. Friday for you, I hope, if you're listening when we drop our newest episodes. How was your week?
Terrible.
Oh.
It
Why
was
are you ray of sunshine?
It was just annoyingly busy, and I had a project that I kept having to redo because of errors. Not necessarily on my part, but just novel, interactive work that I hadn't done before. And so like doing the best with what I could. Mm-hmm. So lots of work ahead, I think. But I have a spa day planned on Tuesday that I'm looking forward to. So it's just getting through the Monday hump. What about you?
My week was okay. Busy as always. Yeah. Lots of things of note, but yet also boring. I don't even really want to go into them.
I feel like you had an exciting event.
I enjoyed the event. Was it exciting? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think I already mentioned on the pod that I was elected as a VP of Professional Development for a professional organization that I'm a part of. So I went to an event on Thursday that announced that. And it was great. They had wonderful free food. I'm on a diet, so I didn't get to enjoy any of that. But you know, I looked on longingly as everyone else enjoyed their cheesecake and alcohol. So I was telling you that it was funny because when I, gave my very brief speech introducing myself, I'm really excited to be serving you all. Come say hi to me. I'd love to hear from you. I'm at the event and I'm thinking like, why does everyone keep talking to me? And then I remember I'm like, oh yeah, I told them to come say hi to me. So, but I made a lot of great connections and yeah. Also I want to note they were doing free professional headshots at this event. And someone committed a war crime against me because the way I don't want to, in the case that this person may hear this one day.
Stumble upon.
I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm sure they're a very talented photographer. I actually got them to send me the originals. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I see why you did what you did, but it was like it looked like AI. I looked insane. So
it was an insane photo. Like it was so oversaturated.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about photography, but I don't know if it was high contrast, but it was like a giant light was just shown on your face.
Yes. So I will be having to pay to get my professional headshots taken is the takeaway from that. So TBD, but yeah. Anything noteworthy that you want to talk about this week? Stories, musings?
Well, just thinking about the, looking at all the other delicious food people were eating. My husband and I have date night once a week. And so we went to one of our favorite cuisine types, Indian food.
Ugh, love it.
Decided let's try a spot that we had been to before he even liked Indian food. So he didn't give it a fair shake. So I was like, I want to go back and see what that experience is like for us. A lot of restaurants have started, well, I don't know if a lot. I only go out once a week. But I've noticed that restaurants have started doing this thing where they have like an AI waiter, which is like a tray that moves around the restaurant.
A robot. I don't like that robot.
I freaking hate it. One, it's really distracting and annoying. It's really loud. And also I feel like just bring the food when it's ready. Stop waiting to like load up this tray service that like moves around the restaurant. So the restaurant wasn't that busy, but I felt like them having this waiter robot delivering naan and rice meant that our food and the service was really slow.
Can you just bring me my food?
Yeah, it's like when you're looking at someone who is clearly not working, and then it's like, you know, in one hand, I'm like, okay, like, don't give them a reason to hire the robot. Like, you know, actually do the job of bringing me my food. So it took a really long time, but the food was pretty good. So
well, that's good.
I think we can go back. I'm not sure. Like,
I don't think I'd go back. Like,
There's
I'm sorry, I
something
don't want to
about
watch you put my food onto a robot so the robot can bring it to me. Walk your little 2 feet over here and bring it to me. Because those robots also move slow.
They're
They're wheeling around. It's cooling off by the time it makes it over here.
And like when it arrives at your table, it announces like, "Welcome to the restaurant. Please take your food." And it's like, okay, I know I'm at this restaurant.
It sounds like a horrible experience.
Really, like, so I thought the food was good. I'd want the food again. I don't know that I would want to go back for that experience because I do feel like it was really just a little too much. And it's also just not welcoming. Like, there's just something about that where I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily need to chit chat and talk to my server at any restaurant, but it's like, I certainly don't want to have to feel like I need to bust my own.
Yeah.
Like,
I hate using QR codes. I hate having to pay online. I don't like consuming any form of labor when I'm the one out to eat.
The paying customer. It was also pricier than our normal spot, the one that we love. So I feel like I would rather just go back there.
Well, and I feel like there's way too much delicious Indian food where we live to have to deal with that experience.
Yeah.
So, so much more to try yet still.
But I brought it up, not just because of the annoying robot waiter, but because that was the same night that you were at your event. And so I felt like we shared a moment of both being very proud of ourselves because I texted you and I was like, I'm so proud of myself. I did not overstuff myself on this Indian food. I actually brought some home.
Yeah. Skinny legend.
I could have gorged, you know,
It's really hard not to gorge on Indian food. I'm going to be real.
Really, well, we ordered 3 naans, so I don't know if I want to be too proud of myself because I only brought back 1 slice of naan. But you texted me and were like, I didn't have this cheesecake and it was covered in caramel. And then you sent me a picture of it and had a blueberry on top and I was like, no.
It looks so good.
Caramel and a blueberry.
The crust looked like, I mean, it was better than it was a graham cracker crust, but like it looked really moist. And they didn't just have cheesecake. They had wild rice, green beans, sweet potatoes, chicken piccata, orecchiette.
What is orecchiette?
It's a type of pasta. It's the little ears.
Ears?
That's what orecchiette means.
What do these ears look like?
They're like a scoop
you know what?
pasta.
We're done with the very little
It's almost
research.
like a half shell pasta.
Okay. Oh my God, you're gonna make me.
They had brisket.
Ear pasta. I'm not gonna try and spell.
Yeah, they don't know. They had brisket. They had salad. So what I got salad. I did put a little bit of blue cheese on it. Okay, you know, but
I thought you were not doing dairy.
Well, the only other option was ranch and Italian. I don't like Italian that much, so I did a little bit of blue cheese on it. And then honestly, I told you already, I don't need an accountability buddy, number 1. So mind your business. Number 2, if I'm saying no to cheesecake, I can have a splash of blue cheese on my salad, okay?
I'm just so curious about the rules.
You don't need to be curious about the rules.
I want to replicate this.
You Google it and do your own thing. So I had a little bit of salad, I had some green beans, and I had watermelon. A slice of watermelon. I did have a tiny piece of brisket because technically it's like a meat and veg type thing. So anyway, I was like, I'm really proud of myself because
why can't you have brisket?
I could have brisket, I did. But also it was so late. It was like 7:00 when we ate. That's way past dinner time. So anyways, I was really proud of myself. And then you told me about your Indian food and I was really proud of you too. So here we go. Let's go. Get ready for Rue.
Unfortunately, I undid what I did on Thursday because after Indian, I have a sweet tooth. My husband has a sweet tooth. So we skipped dessert because the service was taking so long. I was like, I can't be in here for an hour and a half, like 2 hours at this quick Indian spot. So we leave and make this plan that we're going to go on a walk. We'll walk one of our dogs. We'll go on a walk, and we'll actually walk to a dessert option for him because he wanted dessert. By the time we actually went out on a walk, it was too late to get dessert. But you start throwing out suggestions. And so the suggestion for crumble came out. Then all of a sudden I'm on Crumble's website.
You're a horrible person.
It was terrible. So then all day Friday, all I can think about is like, when you get home from work, I need you to bring me these 2 cookies. No. So I undid everything. All of my like, oh, what a great job. I didn't gorge myself.
Or you made space to have the crumble, because you could have just doubled down, and now you've done 2 bad things. Well, not bad things. 2 failures.
I mean, sometimes an accountability buddy is helpful.
I don't need that, though. And I didn't ask for that. And I don't want to be yours, to be honest.
And yet, it just naturally happened.
Oh, yeah. A little bit. Well,
also, you're annoying. Like, what do you mean you're just walking around saying, orachete?
Yeah, I am annoying.
Bitch, if you don't say the little ears in Italian.
I told you it was the ear pasta.
Get on my knees, pray, I'm trying to find another way. I gotta get up out this jungle, niggas killing just to eat. Them lies ain't playing fair, so it's been getting I don't give my heart away. This shit hurt me every day. I get on my knees and pray, I'm trying to find another way.
I have my next little baby pet coming next week. Pucci girl is coming to join us.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for her. I got her medical records. Oof, that was just sad. But I have made a vet appointment for her so that she can establish her care. And then I need to go shopping and get like her food bowls and like get her food that she eats now, so I can maybe transfer her over to another kind of food. But I'm really, really excited. I got to see how like much she weighed. She's like bean size. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to be the best little buddies.
I'm so excited for you to have a black dog.
Yeah, I'm excited to have, I've never had a girl dog. I've only had boy dogs and a girl cat.
And she's just so cute in the pictures.
She is.
I can't wait to meet her.
So adorable. I can't wait to just lead her to live a good life.
Yeah.
So you guys will love her. She's a French bulldog, a little Frenchie, and
I've always wanted a Frenchie because they just look so cute. But then I just feel so bad for them.
I would never buy a dog. I've always wanted a pug, to be honest. I think they're so freaking cute with their little smash faces. And they do have like pug rescues. And I'm sure they have Frenchie rescues.
Yeah.
And I know they have like a lot of health issues, but this is an intimate rescue situation. Like I didn't get her from a rescue, but I am rescuing her.
Yes. I also wouldn't want to buy a dog, like a designer dog. I don't.
What's the point? There's so many, then they're so cute and they all need help. Like, you know, Bean, my little legume, he was rescued. Bart was, all my dogs are rescued. All my pets are rescues, but like I got so many great dogs from rescuing them. So I'd have no need to encourage breeding. So
my dog,
anyways,
Ose was a rehome, Mutt was a rescue from a shelter, and then Anubis was a friend, like some person I knew, his daughter's dogs had like a litter. And so they were giving them away. So I've never so in my mind, they're all rescues.
Yeah.
With exception to maybe Anubis.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't think that they would have sent him to a shelter, but I'm glad that he got to come live with us.
Other things that happened this week. So everyone knows that I'm on a TikTok. Well, and if you don't know, now you know. I am on a TikTok, I don't want to say cleanse, but I am sticking very well to my less than 1 hour of TikTok time a day. Okay, it is so boring, but I'm getting more used to it.
What has replaced that hour? What's the transference? Because we know that there's got to have been a transference. If you're not on an hour of TikTok, are you producing more of the work you want to do?
I'm doing actual productive work in my life.
Okay.
Okay, let's get into it. If you really want to get into it.
I do.
You guys know, the people in this room know, and I've mentioned on the pod before, that I usually have 27 tasks, habits that I complete each day.
I don't know that.
27
I just
habits.
know you're a crazy person.
I am a crazy person. It's kind of like a stretch goal list, but I am a very, type A, like I need to check mark it off of my list. Sometimes it can violate the spirit of what I'm trying to do just to complete it, Like, am I really getting the impacts of journaling if I'm just trying to journal to check this off my list and I'm rushing because I actually am very tired and I want to go to bed, but I have to check off journaling? You know what I mean? So after Paris and Atlanta and getting back, I'm like, okay, I really need more of a hyper-focused situation. I feel like I'm all off the rails. And I know Bonnaroo is coming up. So I'm like, instead of these 27 habits, I'm going to do 3 categories that I'm going to focus on during the month of May. And those categories were body, budget, businesses. Okay? So...
Baby, I run businesses.
So within those categories, there's let's say 4 things that I'm trying to complete a day for each of them. So for body, for example, every day, it's not like a task. Like I stick to my diet. I do 2 45-minute workouts. I'm trying to remember what else there is. Oh, I do a post-meal movement. Every time I eat, I move after, something. And there's something else. And then...
water?
What?
Water, drink? No sugar drinks?
Let me look at it. I get 12,000 steps. Okay. So then budget, it's like every day I'm looking at and refining my budget. Every day I'm paying down some debt, and then I'm not doing any miscellaneous spending, and I'm doing like a meditation around abundance every day. And then businesses is its own thing. So, and part of businesses is less than 1 hour TikTok daily, because instead of spending that 9 hours a day on TikTok, I'm doing some of these other things. Mm-hmm. So that's going really well. So next month I've decided this is going so well. I'm going to do another sprint is what I'm going to call it. And this one's going to be faith, friends, and feelings. And then in parentheses, plus French. So I'm a very big fan of alliteration. So I've already kind of planned that out, and I got to decide on the things that I'm going to focus on in that. But the goal is that instead of, to like have these main things that I focus on, but still build on the other habits that I've created in my life. So yeah, it's going really good. I don't know why. That's what I've been spending my time with instead of TikTok. And I have been consistently posting on TikTok. That's the hardest part, because I'm wasting precious time trying to edit the cover of my TikTok post. But yeah, because of that, I'm not as tapped into pop culture right now. I have been watching some movies instead, which is nice to actually watch a film instead of watching 30 minutes of a film and then pausing it so I can go on TikTok. I watched Predators, Alien vs. Predator. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, that one's not good. Mm-mm. Alien. And I watched Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba, and then I started Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. Jessica Alba's actually pretty good in those movies. I didn't clock her acting game. She's pretty good even with those weird blue contacts that she's wearing. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen her in anything.
I was just Googling this. I'm like, what has she been in? She's been in a TV show. Her and her husband are getting a divorce, or they're separated. Because I watched this movie, I was like, what's up with Jessica Alba? Because she's doing that company that she has, like the honey products.
Honest
she's
like
Honest. Yes, that's it. Honey. That's a movie.
Because she was in that movie.
She was in that movie. Anyways, yeah. So
that happens to me whenever I'm watching something. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that actor. And then I go to Wikipedia, and all of a sudden I'm in a train of just Wikipedia page
who's their
clicking
wife?
to
What do they look like? What did I see her?
Oh, they're best friends with so-and-so. And before you know it, I've ended up on a serial killer's page.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny is I've told you before, one of my unique interests is celebrity best friends. I just throwing that out there. But I did get caught in that Wikipedia web because I was like, who's this actor that's playing the lead character in them Fantastic Four? Because I feel like he's not particularly, I've never really seen him in anything else. And when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, he's not that good looking to be the lead in this. But then I Googled him and I was like, oh, that's a really good picture, actually. They had some vision. He is good looking.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. So anyways, yeah.
In your rewatch, first of all, remind me, Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Oh, that's
Which
sounds like
that?
some small town. The brother gets out of jail,
oh my God,
and then they toss the keys
so
down the sewer.
bad.
It's so bad. And
So
that
bad.
the brother pizza delivery guy, he in real life bludgeoned his landlady to death and then fell off a roof and passed. They said he had gone to this is a Wikipedia web. He had gone into some accident and had like head trauma that basically caused, they believe.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the pizza delivery guy who hated his high school bully?
Correct. Who also was in Sons of Anarchy. Also was in Raise Your Voice with Hillary Duff. But he had bludgeoned his landlady and her cat to death and then fell off a roof. And they said it's because he had gotten in a car accident and he had some head trauma. Now, I'm probably going to cut this out, but I just have to say, that's a lot of, it's probably true, but that's also a lot of grace given to someone that's a murderer. And it's not lost on me that as a white famous man, that they're like giving that as a reason behind it. I'm like, oh.
Two things can be true. You can have a traumatic brain injury that maybe impacts your ability to make good.
Right.
Like to have.
Well, and there's actually no proof that it's not like they did
Correct.
some. So it's like we're allowing this assumption to be made, but I doubt we'd give so much grace to
anyone else.
So I'm kind of like, I'm looking at that with a critical eye. But anyways, he's dead.
Wow. I thought he was pretty like cute and like interesting in the movie.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. When I was watching Fantastic Four, I posted a TikTok about if I was blasted with space radiation and all of my friends got to continue to look beautiful and have cool powers and I had my body covered in rocks, that I'd kill them and myself. And TikTok took it down for community guideline violations and told me that if I was feeling depressed, I should seek help. So I'm going to share that here instead so that you all know that my opinion on that, because no way.
You would unalive yourself?
Well, I'd kill all of them first. They don't get to have a good life without me.
Why do they all get to suffer just because, you got the short end of the rock?
I'm not saying that I would do it methodically and with malice aforethought. I'm saying that I would do it out of pure rage. Because I'd just be so incensed that and this is fucking unbelievable.
I don't know enough about this to be like, was it a slow rock transformation over time?
It was not. It was very fast. Everyone got their powers on like that. But after they were space blasted, they went back and they thought everything was normal. They're like, okay, not so bad. And then all of a sudden, Jessica Alba's turning invisible. Chris Evans is lighting on fire and can fly. Yon Grufford or whatever, his character, he didn't have that cool powers either. He could stretch. I'm like, that's actually kind of nasty, but whatever. He could stretch. And then Michael Chiklis' character, The Thing, got rock-bodied, and his internal organs were also rocks. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, we're fucking done. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah, TikTok has found out that it's found out that I like two things that it's now just throwing on my timeline in sequential order. Somehow I've landed on Black viewers and fans of the show The Vampire Diaries and or the originals. And I'm really excited about that because, first of all, I didn't realize, our community isn't everything, but it's nice to feel validated and seen.
Yeah. I've actually never seen TVD.
Okay, we'll get into that in a second.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're going to. And then the second thing is anime. It has somehow found out that I am a fan of anime. I don't know how because I haven't watched any recently, but, you watch one video for 20 seconds too long. And then next thing you know, they're just showing you, they're flooding you, and I like one video about anime. So Vampire Diaries is one of those shows where you and I do this a lot, right? We have things that we like and our comfort watches. So we rewatch it, every so often. Vampire Diaries is one of those shows where every year, every couple of years, I'm like, I'm going to rewatch it. And then what happens to me is similar to what happens to you from our Avengers Infinity War. At some point when you watch something so much and you know what's going to happen, you just reach this point where it's like, am I just hate watching this at this point? Because I actually want you to die.
I know you're gonna die, but I want you to die now, and I want you to stop being so fucking annoying all the time. And so I'm just like actually just like constantly arguing with the characters in this show. And then the Vampire Diaries spinoff, The Originals, is actually better.
Yeah.
What I'm enjoying is there's two parts of this Vampire Diaries TikTok that I'm on. One, there's this like, let's talk about how ridiculous these characters are, or let's use satire and comedy to emulate how ridiculous they are. And then there's the other part, which is like, what do we actually think are like the true fangirling, like the thirst traps of the Vampire Diaries, so to speak. Gossip Girl used to be one, but then I had to cut that out of rotation. So I think like the CW they would do such a good job at introducing us to like new music, ridiculous soap opera type,
and also like famous people's drama, like really creating parasocial relationships. I felt like
oh yeah,
Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush getting married. Wow. And then a divorce. She tried to get annulment 5 months later. Wow. And then having to work together on a show. Ian Somerhalder and Nina Dobrev having or dating and then breaking up, and then him marrying one of her friends. And then now she's
from
with
a different
Shaun White.
vampire.
I'm
family.
yes. Like I love that stuff. I'm like, yeah, that was the good time of the gossip rags. So
well, and then I've also like one of the characters from the show. Paul Wesley. He has these really funny like Q&As where he talks about how much he hates Matt Donovan, and like everyone who's watched Vampire Diaries fucking hates Matt Donovan. So I'm also seeing a lot of those like parasocial fan accounts that are like just reposting things that he's posted.
I love that stuff.
So I go to my husband and I'm like, I think it's time for another rewatch. Like, aren't you so excited? I really wish that he was the type of person that wasn't so caught up in, same with music, right? It's like, if it's not deep and it's not, real art, then I can't enjoy it. And it's just like, can you just freaking like watch something without feeling the need to be like, oh, it needs to just be so deep. Like, but no, he won't do that. I really wish like he would just watch the Vampire Diaries with me. I did come across like a couple accounts where like the wife and the husband were watching it, and like she's already seen it, and the husband's like, what? I don't even know what's gonna happen. It's like, I want that level of just like a little bit of interest.
Also like deep it's not even subjective. I bet it is, but also like some people wouldn't consider like Real Housewives deep, but that's a very interesting, narrative around what social relationships are like. So anything can be deep.
Yeah.
I don't find a lot of things that other people find interesting or deep, but I'm sure art is art, right? Yeah. Like just because it's ridiculous doesn't mean it's not art.
Right. It's like a debate of like, okay, what's like, Drake versus Kendrick, or, Oscar-winning film versus stupid rom-com or comedy. And it's like, I just want to be entertained. Like, and I don't necessarily have to just lane myself into, I can only be entertained. I can find entertainment in both things.
I agree. Well, and also like, I was watching Prometheus, which I love that movie. I'm like, this might be one of my favorite movies because I am like, it's just so good. That does not have any Academy Awards or nominations. And actually I found the Reddit threads, and a lot of the fans of Alien did not like that movie. And that's why they shifted gears in Covenant to be more about the show the xenomorphs more. But I'm like, that movie is such an interesting take on like creation, on not giving answers. Like I feel like a lot of movies seek out, like it gives you a lot more questions than answers. I'm like, that is such a good, I think it's a masterclass, but like, so it didn't win any awards, all of a sudden it's not good, Like they just announced this year that that in order to vote for a movie in the Oscars, that you have to watch all the movies. So we can't be an awards-based society, because it's like, wait, they weren't already doing that for the past 70 years? Like it took you 70 years. Like that is ridiculous. Yeah. So,
yep.
Kind of segueing, but speaking of parasocial relationships, I was thinking this week, I'm like, what is your most parasocial take?
What do you mean by parasocial?
Like you care about something that a celebrity's doing even though you don't know them.
Oh, Okay, well, there's a local journalist. I won't name the journalist, but they had liked and or commented and or retweeted something that I had said. I fangirled out over ages about that. There's that.
I don't think that's what I was talking about. I was thinking more of like, for me, I would love, like, I really want, deep in my core, Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson to get back together. Like, that's parasocial, because I have no idea what their relationship is like.
Oh.
I have no skin in the game for these people. I shouldn't, but like randomly I'll think, like, I had seen a picture on Instagram where Pete Davidson has a new girlfriend. I'm like, no, you're supposed to be waiting for Ariana. Like, because it's just such a good time when they first started dating. So that's what I mean, like something like that, where you just like,
Where I'm invested in a celebrity.
Slightly invested. I mean,
some sort.
Yeah, invested in something where you're just like if Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell ever get divorced, like you'll be so upset, that type of thing.
Devastated. How dare you
exactly.
even fucking think that?
I mean, they're not married, but separated.
They're married in my eyes.
I know,
and in the eyes of God.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
No.
Okay.
I can't think of anything because I'm really not that invested. I do think like there are like that's a great example. If Tom Holland and Zendaya didn't work out, I'd be devastated.
I actually might have to take time off work. Like, I might have to just I think I would fall to my knees the moment I read that they weren't together anymore.
In my eyes, I've been a prize, a hoe I never chase. I'm number one up in this shit, you niggas second place. Say if you ain't having pay, well, boy, you out of luck. You better stop chasing these hoes and go and chase a buck. I took 100 L's to win, I never gave it up. They asked me why my heart so cold, I just don't give a fuck. Everything a nigga been through taught me major lessons. I'm alive and ain't in prison, that's a major blessing. Reminiscing while I vent, but
So slow. Okay.
I know we were descended from apes because I freaking love just doing that,
Just
like
picking?
grooming and like picking at people and my pets. Yeah. I got that itch. Got that
You
urge.
like picking the bugs and putting them in your mouth? Eating the bugs out of people's hair and such? Not that part.
No.
just the finding the bugs.
Just the picking part. Just the looking for flaws and or things that should not be there, imperfections, pointing at them, drawing attention to them. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
All right. What are you offering up? I've told every boring story under the sun to judgment,
As content.
ridicule, and yet you haven't shared much. So let's go.
I mean, I don't really have much going on. I'm really just working a lot right now, which is just so boring. Nobody wants to talk about that. I've been watching Modern Family, which I, have put on in the background, but I've caught myself doing that thing where I need to pause an episode so that I can go onto TikTok. I don't like that we've switched roles in this. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really enjoy it. I'm really upset that I have this app, actually. Like, it's such a fun waste of time, but I waste a lot of time on TikTok. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything of note taking place. Right now, I'm trying to get as much as I can done before we go to Bonnaroo, while simultaneously avoiding thinking about the various things that I need to do and get for Bonnaroo.
Yes.
Let's see. I really just don't have much going on.
Okay. Well, do you have any weekly ins or outs? Aren't you fun?
I'll do better.
Start off with your week was shit, and now you're bringing nothing to the table. That's freaking amazing.
We didn't talk about the plantation burning on the pod.
Okay. Go for it. I don't have any information about this.
I don't have anything either.
Okay.
It's just been a busy week. I did not put enough attention into what the agenda could have been today. Mm-hmm. I've been pulling some long. Unlike you, who gets 27 things done before 9 a.m.
I know.
It took me all day, and I still didn't get 27 things done.
when I walked in, you said, "What have you done today?" I said, "A lot."
You said so many things.
So many things. I started my day. I'm going to tell you guys.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
45 minutes on the Stairmaster.
That's insane. That is insane. I did it for 5 minutes the other day, and I wanted to die.
Yeah, 45 minutes. No stopping on the Stairmaster. Then I did an ab workout, 45 minutes of an ab workout. Then I went up and I had a protein shake, and then I took my 2 books down to the pool and I read poolside for a little bit. Then I took a shower. Then I'm like, I went and got my eyebrows done.
What 2 books?
Oh, I'm reading this book called Fix, which is about the fine art of problem solving. And how this woman uses art to help people improve their problem solving and analytical thinking skills. She's walking us through that in the book. It's really good. The second one is called The Little Paris Bookshop. That's for book club. I'm behind, and book club is next Wednesday. I'm hoping I can finish it. It's pretty good.
What do you mean you're behind? So your friend is, what, chapters ahead?
Well, it's next Wednesday, and I'm
Supposed to have finished the book?
by Wednesday to talk about it. This Wednesday, actually. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'll have time to, I can make time to finish, but I like to read 2-3 chapters a day, and I'm like, I don't know, way more than that behind. So we'll see if I finish it. It's pretty good. It really ramped up recently. It really got spicy there for a second. I was like, oh, no, not for me, but that's okay. And this man, the main character, is kind of miserable, and I like miserable men. So
What is this book about?
so far it's about this man in Paris, and he owns like a bookshop. It's a bookshop, but it's on a boat, but it's like doesn't move on the Seine. And he's talking about,
Is it interactions with people that come into his bookshop?
No, not fully. It's with him and his neighbors and the people that come. Like, he uses books as medicine. Like, he's a pharmacist, and he knows what you as his customer needs. Like, you're a loser who doesn't feel any worth, you should read this. No, actually, he is. How about you stop guessing and you let me tell you about it? He was involved in an affair with a married woman for 5 years, and then one day she left him without saying anything, and that was like 20 years ago, and he still holds it like
can't
really.
get over it.
Yeah, he can't get over it. And then he has this new neighbor, and he gives this new neighbor whose husband left her this table. And in the table, she finds a letter that he knew about that woman had left him. And it turns out that woman had cancer and was going to die, and that's why she left him. But she wrote him to tell him, like, please, like, come, and my husband knows about you. Like, I love you. And like, and so he finds this out 20 years later, and he's like, I'm going to throw up. Like, I can't believe I never went to her. Like, anyways, so that's where I'm at right now. It's pretty good.
So he didn't find the letter before he gave this table?
He did find the letter. No, he forgot the letter was in the table. But, like, he knew that the woman had wrote him a letter, but he refused to read it. Like, he wasn't ready to read it when she initially sent it. And then he, was pitying himself instead of getting answers to his questions. That's what I said when I was reading it. I was like, first of all, I'm gleeful. I'm smiling like, a man being miserable just like he deserves. I'm so glad.
That's what he gets.
Yeah, that's what he gets for, his stubbornness. Now she's dead, and she'll never know that you loved her. Huh. So, anyways.
Okay.
So I read my 2 books at the pool. Okay. Then I showered. I went and got my eyebrows done. I got a smog check. I went to Sephora because I needed a new eyebrow pencil. And then, I talked to the vet, and then I got ready and I came over here.
Smog check? I thought you just got one.
No, that was
That was your oil change.
That was my oil change. Oh, I also had to write to them and tell them that I think you installed my skid plate incorrectly and it fell off shortly after that same day. So I did get a chance to watch the dash cam footage, and it did show what I needed it to show, which is that I didn't run something over. Something fell off my car and almost hit the car behind me. And so I wrote them an email saying that, like, I want you to compensate me for this.
Back up. What?
Okay, so remember when I said my dash cam isn't sticking again? And you guys are like, what are you doing all the time to me? I said I had to take it down because I needed to watch video, but I ended up not having the thing to watch it. So your husband, the producer, gave me what I needed to watch it.
Right.
And
okay, so what happened that you were like, I need to watch this footage?
Okay.
Back up.
So I was driving that night after I got an oil change. And you know that exit when we got for it has that little bump in the ground? I heard something, like it seemed like I ran over something or something fell. I immediately thought it was my skid plate because when I was sitting there getting an oil change, it's taking a long time and they insinuated that he was having trouble putting back my skid plate.
What is a skid plate?
It's what goes underneath your car so that if rocks and stuff and debris falls up, that it doesn't shoot it up into your engine and set your car on fire. Instead, it hits the bottom of something like that's protecting the bottom parts of your car.
I gotcha.
So this is why it's important to be smart and paying attention, people, because I'm like, they didn't say, he's having a problem installing your skid plate. Give us some, but I'm picking up on what's happening. It's taking a little long. And so I'm like, he was having a problem installing it. So fine. There's we got you, leave. So anyways, that night when I drove over that bump, it sounded like something crunched under my car. I didn't remember seeing anything in the road and I was wearing my eyeglasses. So I was like, okay, well, I need to know if I ran something over or if my skid plate fell off my car. So I watched the video finally this week and in the front, I don't see anything in front of me when I believed it happened. So I look at the back dash cam and I see that it flies off and the car behind me does evasive maneuvers to make sure that they don't get, and it's only like a portion of it as from what I can tell. So I'm like, okay, it was that. Now, you know this about me that like, I have to do a cost benefit analysis of how much I want to be burdened by confronting people with these type of things because I'm just like, how much does the skid plate cost? It's like $150. That oil change was $100. And I still was kind of like, I don't really know. I'm like, no, like, you need to tell them that like, that's not right, like, so I was like, I could call them. What are those bozos? No offense. Sorry. I'm sure they're great people. But I was like, I'm going to email the customer service instead. And so I sent them an email this morning and it was like basically explaining that entire story to them. And yeah.
So basically they took too long in your oil change because they weren't properly reinstalling
because
your
the person
skid plate.
doing the skid plate was struggling with it. Like they were struggling getting it back on correctly.
Okay. Which shouldn't be.
I mean, and I got, it's a very subtle context because we're like, he's just finishing up with your skid plate. It's taking a little longer than normal.
Right.
And then I could hear him celebrating when he finally got it back on. And it shouldn't be a problem because I've had this car for however many years and it's never been a problem before. So,
celebrating. Like, how does someone celebrate doing?
Got it. Oh, like that type of thing, So.
Okay.
The point is, I put together, they were struggling putting together my skid plate. Enough so that when it fell off, I thought, yeah, that was the people at the oil change place for,
Yeah.
So.
He's doing a face maneuver. Dude, I would freak out if I was driving because I, Final Destination style.
That stuff happens all the time, I think. But, it's too... your skid plate could fall off just because it's meant to, that could happen, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, that's too coincidental that it's just the exact same day. As soon as I go over a bump in the road that I go over literally all the time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I got a smog today. I got my smog check done today. So, and then I got you your coffee and I came over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a lot. And we're going to do more after this. I got to go figure out some stuff for Pucci. I'm so excited.
I am too.
I'm also excited to see our dad. That's secondary.
He's barely coming for any
normally I'd be
useful
more excited.
amount of time.
I know, right?
Yeah, really excited. I can look for kennels and stuff like that we might have.
Okay, let's see it because those are pricey,
Yeah.
And I could buy them, but I'm, in my 30-day sprint.
Yeah,
budget,
business,
body. And body is getting tea, guys, okay? So it's working. Now I'm very hungry, okay? But I'm very hungry. The point is to also find discipline again because, girl, I've been so undisciplined when it comes to some stuff but yeah, we're working on it. It's getting better. So yeah. Anyways, I'm doing good. I'm excited. Next month's gonna be better. You want to do a sprint with me?
Yeah, sure.
You want to you want to see my framework
for friends, family?
Well, for any sprint.
Friends, faith, and what?
Feelings.
Nah, skip that one.
That's like around journaling.
What's after that?
I haven't decided yet. I still have 15 days in this one. But okay, so friends, faith, and family. Here's what I have so far. Faith, friendship, feelings, and French. It's in parentheses. Okay. Bible reading, my morning devotional, which I do every day anyways. I'm going to memorize a verse every day, a daily prayer walk, and then do my bedtime gratitude prayer and Bible reading. Okay, so friendship. Reach out to
7 things under faith.
Well, but some of those I already do.
Things.
That's not. Bible reading and AM devotional I already do every day regardless.
Oh, you combine those?
Well, okay. You really want to get into it. After the gym, when I'm walking Bean, I audio the Bible. Then while I'm getting ready and doing my makeup every day, I listen to my morning devotional. So that's already part of my routine.
They're on the list, but you're not technically counting them. You had to add additional things because...
you're not just creating the list to check things off.
That's exactly what you were doing.
That's what I get one every day because I do it anyways, right? But I don't usually do that on the weekend, so now I have to do it 7 days. Anyway, I get to do it 7 days.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
And then those other things, it's not 7 things. Okay, so friendship. Reach out to one friend daily with encouragement. So I have a lot of...
Encouragement, okay.
Yeah, like, not just like, hey, how are you? Like, let's like speak life into people and be like, hey, you're doing great. I'm really blessed to have you in my life. Like, you're a really great friend. Okay,
this sounds a little bit like feelings.
It's not feelings. Feelings is related to me. Okay. Meet up with one friend weekly. Okay. Do an affirmation related to like love and friendship, and then make a new friend. Smile at people in public and learn to work on approaching people. So, I'm like very hardened when I'm in public. I need to be better at that. I'm just like, don't look at me. I can't see that well. So
I think part of that is just from like the male gaze is just revolting, and also we want to avoid
racism I've dealt with in my entire life.
The sexualization of young children.
The way that people want me to do labor for them, which is also related to the racism. Like, don't ask me. And it's very hard to be nice because they're like, oh, can you point me to this? Like, I don't fucking work here, and I don't want to do work for you. Now, anyway, so it's very hard. So, but that's why I'm going to try to be nice to people.
I wouldn't say that that's hardened. I would say that that's adapted.
Yes. But sometimes it's like, it's not that serious, Like I was talking to the girl that did my small talk today. She's a very nice, lovely lady, So like that type of stuff, like being more not out there, but like open to just spreading kindness, let's say. Okay, feelings, morning journal and intentions. And then my midday moment and a silent meditation, like just spending some time really checking in with myself. Nighttime journal, day in review, and then a weekly exam. So every week I should do this. It's on my calendar, but I never do. Where it's just like taking a moment to like figure out like, how did your week go? Check in with yourself. Like, this was really good. This was really bad. Like, So that's feelings. And then French is podcast daily, which I already do, but now it's back on the list because I have been allowing myself to not do it because it's not part of my BBB framework. Okay. Watch TV in French with subtitles, at least one show or movie daily, or I could do a second podcast episode, and then I actually write stuff down because I listen to it a lot and I'm not writing it down. That's my framework for next month.
It sounds like it's going to be really beneficial.
Yeah.
For you.
You just focus on, the point is hyper focus on one thing or multiple things for me, in a month. So like, if you feel like you are struggling in 7, because it feels like there's just so much to do in life all the time, and like to get it all together all at once can be difficult. So instead, I'm like, I'm just gonna get these things together in this runway of time, and then we'll do another one.
Yeah, it was exhausting listening to that.
Okay,
it's like just a lot of stuff.
Okay, it's not that much. It's not 27.
It's a lot.
Some of that stuff is stuff I already do though. Every day. So it's not a lot. It's a lot of things. Some of that stuff doesn't take a lot of time, but it's about the intentionality behind it.
I think that's the thing too, is that like you are set up in a way where you have almost like built-in success in the ability that you wake up at a time where you can get a lot of peace.
Yeah.
Where if you're anything like me who wakes up 30 minutes before I have to log into work, like that's not happening,
Yeah.
Because one snooze, I'm one snooze away from I can't do my morning meditation anymore, which happens often for me. So
that is true. I often have said that I live an entire life before I sit down at my desk.
Yeah.
But I like that because I feel like I give a lot of my good hours also to myself. And I think that's important. Like work gets so much of my time, my life, my energy, how many times have I gone to bed and I've told you I woke up and I solved a problem at work. Like I give a lot to my job, which is fine, but like I need to also focus on the things that are important in my personal life. So I do, for those of you that haven't caught on, I wake up at like 3, my alarm is set for 3:35 and 3:50 in the morning so that I do have a snooze port option. Okay. And then, I'm down and I'm at the gym by 4:15. So
I feel like if I had that discipline and could do that, I would want to like provide myself that space to do those things in the morning. It's a lot harder for me to, and I recognize it's a lot harder for me to do. First of all, I'm a night owl. I'm up till 2 a.m. most 1, 2 a.m. most nights because I'm doing the opposite. I'm reclaiming all of that time that I've just fucking had sucked away from me during the day and trying to reclaim it at night, which then takes away from my ability to do anything because I'm also exhausted before I get to reclaim my time. So then I'm not actually productive or like giving energy to the things that I really want to do. I have to give energy to like the lower consuming things like TV and whatnot. So
I mean, you get a lot done. You do a lot of things too, and a lot of side ventures outside of your 9 to 5
side quests. Yeah,
your side quests. And I also think that like habit stacking is important. That's why I audiobook the Bible while I'm walking my dog. It's not like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take 15 minutes to, I find a way to kind of like, when I do my French podcast, I'm doing that while I'm stretching at the gym, you know? So like, and that's why I don't write stuff down because I'm like, I'm doing multiple things at once. Yeah. And so like, same with like, I've always, remember when we first started working out more, I'd be like, you build things up in your head where you're like, oh, I'm going to take a walk. Well, now I need to put on my clothes and my shoes. And it's like, ultimately put on some freaking flip-flops and just go around the block for a second, and like make things smaller in your head. Yeah. And so, but don't discount yourself just because I'm an insane person. You get a lot done all the time. And you live a full life too. You have a lot of structure to your life. We were talking the other day. I'm like, I know the day you want to go to the gym is Tuesday. And you said, how'd you know that? I said, because.
That's very true.
For 17 years, you've had this, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because on Monday you're doing this, and on Wednesday you're doing this.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
And it is very interesting that, like, I feel like we both have this level of inflexibility in our schedule, and yet we still manage to get so much done. Like, very productive people. Yeah. Especially when you look at the scope of, like, what other people are able to accomplish, because everyone has different priorities in their life, But, like, what I find is that people, I'm going to say complain. They'll be like, oh, I can never do what you do. It's like, you could, but you choose to prioritize something else. And that's fine. Yeah. But like, you're not,
Yeah. Growing up with our dad, who I felt like was just always working, always on call in some capacity. And then finding myself in my own adulthood and being like, okay, I'm on this grind, I'm on this hustle. And so, that means I'm going to spend, X amount of hours doing this, or I'm going to prioritize that this week, and trying to find the balance for that. It's like, okay, maybe I kind of can have some understanding for, not so much for that, like, because he's just workaholic, honestly.
Yeah.
But like in essentially like, okay, I'm prioritizing what I need to prioritize when I'm prioritizing it.
That is very interesting. I need to think about that because he was just a workaholic. He was more than a workaholic, but he was very much, but he also was like, dad, like a nosy Nelly. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seemed like, I feel like for us in our childhood, it felt like we don't see you that often. And every time I see you, you're always on the phone. Like, do you need to be in this conversation right now on this very topic? This doesn't seem like an important conversation to me, Right. And I still get a little bit of that today. I'm like, could you not call that person back? Dude, this guy's phone is always ringing. Every clown in a 200-mile radius is calling this man day to day to day to day. But he has a lot of strong, meaningful connections. So, like, I'm sure there's a balance in there. But what I thought was interesting was that the second set, our younger brothers, significantly younger, also had that same complaint that he was on the phone all the time. So it's like, that's just, there needs to be a balance,
It's just also, it's interesting because it's like, if I was on the phone with you and you were like, hold on, and you turned to have, and I heard you have a full-on conversation, I would click so quick.
It's that Southern patience because, like, because like he's having 20 conversations at once. He's on the phone and then talking to someone like us in the car. I'm like, dude, this is actually insane. Like, and no one that he talked to seemed to be like, because I'd be immediately annoyed and immediately a brat. I'd be like, just call me back later, you know? Like, but
don't answer my phone call
while you're in the middle of talking to someone else. Like, no, but like, it must be a Southern thing because everyone has so much patience and understanding.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't have that.
I don't get it. Like,
I don't have that at all.
yeah.
But like to your larger point, it's like I think that's why it's like so hard for me to empathize or sympathize with people who are like just fine. Like there's no ambition, right? Like I don't recognize that in myself, and so
it's so true.
I'm always striving for more. I'm always wanting for more, and you're doing it in not just like career ways right now. You're trying to tap into other things that are of interest to you, whether that is books or whether that is like expanding your ability to speak French fluently, or even just like, you know, having a disciplined schedule when it comes to your workout routine. Whereas for me, it's like, okay, I don't understand like the people who they wanna just like, I mean, I guess I do. I don't know. It's hard because it's like, there's the part of me that's like, I actually want to work less. I want to make the same amount of money, but I want to work less. And then what I tell myself is like, okay, well, in order to get there, you actually need to work
10 times harder.
You need to work double the amount of time so that you can eventually get to making the less. And I feel like that's probably the narrative that our dad always told himself, is that like, it's probably not like, that's what I'm going to guess, right? Without asking him explicitly, that like, you know, my ultimate goal is that I want to do X, Y, Z. And in order to get there, I'm going to have to work, hustle. But like, then it just never stopped. And so like, you know, that's kind of where I feel like I'm at this point where it's like, I'm not just working my 9 to 5 job. I'm also like, okay, well, I also want to, you know, travel. I also want to like spend time doing this. I also want to spend time doing that. And in order to allow for all these things, I have to keep working and I have to find new ways of working. So anyhow, I don't know where I was going with that, but.
No, I've also struggled with this because obviously we have friends of all kinds and like some people are just fun. Like, and it's so funny because I was thinking about this the other day. I used to have a friend and we had a falling out as part of something that happened in my divorce, which is fine. But like, I remember thinking that like this person was, you know, living at home. She was in her late 30s and like, I didn't see an easy way out for her. So she worked like, let's say at Target. And I'm like, you should think about becoming a manager of Target, you know? Mm-hmm. You're a 38-year-old stalker, which is fine. But like, don't you have an aspiration to like, okay, you can be management, you can make more money, you can move out. Like, are you waiting for someone to come rescue you out of this situation? Like, but it's also, it's not just that they were okay in that. They had big aspirations outside of working for them that I didn't understand, you know? So it's like, you want this grand life, seemingly. How are you thinking about getting there? And I could never quite understand. And I still don't. Like, it's one thing to like, you know, maybe because they weren't verbal, like they were like, no, I'm expecting to meet someone, a man that falls in love with me and he's going to pay for all that stuff. I might be like, hey, slay girl, you know, but it's like, I wasn't really seeing where it was all going to go. And it's been very hard for me to understand that in people and to also be the type of person that can accept that without judgment and without pushing them, you know, like kind of trying to solve for them. Yeah. Like, oh, you should take that and then do X, Y, and Z. And they're like, no, I'm actually going to quit and go work somewhere else. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay. Keep playing the lottery. You know, so, and that's also a defect in myself, right? Like,
I mean, I don't know, like defect, asset. I don't know, like if we necessarily need to color it that way. It's just, I mean, think about this podcast. Like you and I, who already have full jobs, full lives, and other ventures, right? Like outside of the things that we want to pursue. And then on top of that, we add in like a production schedule that involves like an editing process and like, you know, social media planning and like all of these things. And so it's like, we took this on ourselves in this like, fun adventure that we are trying to maintain consistency on. And then like, in addition to the other things. And so it's like, yeah, why do I, like, we're all working hard, you know? And so it's like, why did we do that?
I don't know.
But
Aspirations, dreams, and goals.
you know, and it's like, so finding the balance, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, we're not idle. But I still
So
feel
true.
like we get to enjoy a lot of time. And part
We do
of
a
the
lot of fun
podcast is
stuff. I mean, maybe
enjoyable.
not fun to other people's singers, but fun to us. But I think the defect for me isn't in the how I am. It's that it's me meeting people where they are. Like, that's where I find the defect. It's like, there's more than one right way to live.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Supposedly. Yeah, apparently.
But, you know, and so I'm trying to be better at that. Sometimes it's like that old adage or that new adage of like, sometimes you don't need to solve someone's problem. You can just be like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like, you'll figure it out. But it pisses me off, you know? Like, I'm like, don't talk to me about, you know.
Well, I don't know about you, but it's like I'm surrounded by people that are very similarly motivated and ambitious in that way. So like it's very rare that I'm confronted with you know, someone who's just like, actually no, I'm good. Like I'm fine with things being the way that they are. So it's like I don't even have exposure to that enough to really understand how to talk to that.
Men, and when I was dating,
Okay.
they're very much like that. It's very difficult.
There are a lot of people like that. in the world.
There's tons of them.
But I'm surrounded by earth and fire signs, so that's just not.
I mean, even like old colleagues of mine, I know plenty of people like that are like, well, I mean, life is a cost-benefit analysis. You know, like, I get paid well enough, my job's easy enough, like, I'm going to stay there. Me? Yeah, but also, something's greater, baby. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is. I agree that I am around a lot of like self-motivated people that aspire to have great careers, have great lives, do fun things. Like, so
Yeah, as
blessed.
insane as I think you are, I'm like, yeah, you would be doing nothing less because you're not going to just sit idly at home and twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah.
You were getting a million things done and spending 9 hours on Twitter, or 9 hours on TikTok. So, you know. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on this, but cool.
Anyways, I think we wrapped it up
covered.
nicely.
I'm covered in Ocerdos.
Yeah, you're really trying to poison the rest of us too. So, speaking of fun things, we're doing something very fun tonight.
Yes. We're going to
we
go
are
watch a
going to-
jousting match.
A jousting match with Ren Fair food, and you have to eat with your hands up. I'm not a fan of that.
You don't have to eat with your hands. Do you?
It said so when I Googled it.
No flatware.
No flatware.
Okay, we could do what parents of young children do and bring our flatware.
I was just going to bring wet wipes because when I looked at the food, it was like it was
I know what it is.
hand food anyways, like a corn on the cob. Yeah, I mean, so it's fine. But I'm gonna bring wet wipes. But I'm very excited for that. And yeah, that's it. I don't think we have any weekly ins and outs this week.
No, not this week. I mean, for me, what's out is like, you know, the fact that I also have not won lottery.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I think it's for me is I was gonna say like seemingly AI generated images of myself. Like it really did so. I was like, damn, am I so fucking ugly that they were like, let's just scrap the whole thing and try again.
Yeah.
So
Give her a new face.
okay, let's wrap it up. Nice, yeah.
All right. I can't wait to get our greedy
So-
little
I'm
hands
so hungry
on our din tonight.
Yes.
I'm covered in Osiris's hair, but I had a great time hanging out with the bub. He's being very cute and hanging out with you. I'll be seeing you later this evening.
Yes. I had a lovely time hanging out with you all at home.
Do a better job of putting stuff on our agenda.
Will you? To be determined. No, I still feel like we had a pretty good conversation. So we'll see how it comes out in editing. I'm really hungry, so I'm zoning out right now. But thank you all for joining us. We can't wait to talk to you again next week. Stay pretty.
Stay prideful.
Especially if you're black. I love the explosion. Okay.
You can't finesse. Bitch, I move smart like a motherfucking Tesla. I'm clutching this Glock, do I look like a wrestler? Get put on your back, tryna act like a flexer. Hold on, wait, this Glock take him out like a date. She give me the pussy, I just want the face. Fuck her real good, put the bitch in her place. I'm high in the bitch, but my mind up in space.